Hello everyone at 1220 Productions, the YouTube channel, at the Stiff Archives Facebook page. That's Casey Orange here, of course. Just on a Monday morning, actually Monday afternoon. I actually had today off, and it's been a nice, shitty weather day. No sun, cold as shit. Actually feels like the season, which I'm grateful for, because that's what shapes my mindset going forward when the weather's like this. Alright, there's no in-between stage now. It's just fucking cold, bitterness, and my seasonal depression. Just go ahead and just go on in, just take a nap with me, and just have to fucking deal with it. There's been a lot of things going on in the 1220 Productions area. Alan and I have been working on more songs for the Escape the Rain. We have so many demos. It seems like there's so many demos, but recently the newest that we've been recording has been the home runs, like kind of like album worthy. Like you could put maybe 10 or 12 of these together and they'll flow correctly, because it kind of represents us as musicians now, as opposed to something that we were into, you know, like, I don't know. We was in a death metal phase or doom metal phase, and there was a lot of doom metal tracks. You kind of cycle through we just kind of record what you like and what really sounds cool. But right now, the songs that we are recording are kind of like a mixture of all of our interests in music, and that's really neat. So I guess you got to put those that culminate at a head. Those are the ones, yeah, I think should be put together on an album. As well as recording a lot of demos, I've been passing demos back and forth to Kevin Willoughby. Since I live here in Louisville, it's the best option is to send WAV files back and forth, and I think it's just really neat. The age of the internet, right? I think a whole band was based off that, and I think it was called the Postal Service. They would mail each other demos back and forth through the snail mail, which, you know, that's its own set of unique bugaboos or whatever, but just emailing stuff back and forth, that's a lifesaver too. So Alan sent me a demo. I would put bass on it, then I would send it to Kevin. Or as vice versa, I would write a demo, I would send it to Alan, and Kevin will play bass. Or he would sing lead, or just put whatever sauce we can on it. Also, we got Darren Lee Johnson kind of mixed into it. It's been pretty fun. You know, he's all the way in Minnesota. Kevin's in Lake Malone. Alan's in Drexboro, and I'm in Louisville. So this is like a really neat way to stay creative and just to write stuff back and forth without having to drive all the way across the fucking universe. This is set down. I mean, that's cool and all, you know, but if you don't have the choice to hang out with your buddies, this is the second best option. So that's been really neat. Kind of getting hyped for the holiday seasons. Kind of a mixed bag. When I say hype, I'm hyped for the consumerism, the capitalism of it, because I love buying shit. You know, buying gifts for other people, and that's usually when the best video games come out. Like Super Smash Brothers comes out December 7th. Really fucking hyped for that. I'm also going to go ahead and, if I get some, like, I don't know, like a gift card or something, I'm going to try to pick up the Dark Souls remaster that came out a couple weeks ago. I also want to get all the new GameCube controllers, because those things are fucking awesome. It's still the most comfortable controller I've ever held in my hands. Is it good for all genres of games? No. Is it good for most of them? Yes. I wouldn't say it's a fighting game controller at all, unless you're talking about Melee, or yeah, this Melee, and you know, this is Smash Brothers series. As far as like trying to play like a Capcom vs SNK 2 with it, you know what? I haven't really sit down with it, but I can see where there would be a problem with your D-pad being this small and having to rely on the analog stick. But yeah, I love the GameCube controller. I've been playing Super Mario Sunshine lately, and it's like a full circle game for me, because when it initially came out, I fucking hated it. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but the control scheme threw me for a loop. I was like, this is more complicated than it should be. So I just wanted to run around like Mario 64. That's all I wanted to do, is have that freedom. And when they threw the FLUDD system in there, you're like, you fucked with that, man. It's like, it took all that away initially. You know, then we kind of passed on the game for a long time, because, I don't know, I even played Mario Odyssey, not Odyssey, but Mario Galaxy, and other 3D Mario games. But it was just about 2.5 years ago that I was like, I want to give Sunshine a chance. And you know what? It didn't take any control away from you as a player. The Flood adds, it augments your running abilities. Yes, it's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get it down, you just can't live without it. Because there's a lot of stages in Sunshine that require you just to run around as Mario. Because Dark Mario still is your Flood, and you have to play the level as normal. And it doesn't take long. Maybe, I don't know, took me 2 minutes of one stage being like, I fucking miss Flood. I want the Flood back. Because it adds so much to your strategy. And it's basically like a safety net. Because, a lot of jumps, oh shit, you kind of, you judge them wrong, and there's no way out of them. But with the Flood, you can just float back. It just blows my mind. Because I think Super Mario Sunshine is probably my third favorite Mario game now. It's so fucking good. For a game that came out in 2002, it still looks great, plays great, amazing. Cannot recommend it enough. It's so great. So, yes, video games, it's what it's been on the mind here recently. I'll probably pick those up and play Sunshine for probably about 2 hours a day. My goal is I have 65 sprites. I'm going for 70. Then I'm going to try to beat the game. Then I'm going to go back and get all the other sprites. Speaking of pickups, here recently at Half Price Books, I picked up a silver OG GBA. Obviously, it's not backlit. I mean, look at that. Look at that screen. But it's not the reason that, besides the GBA being awesome, it's the form factor of this system that makes it amazing. Because when the SPs came out, it's basically just a square. You're playing a square, and, your hands are cramped. And the form factor just doesn't, it's a great system, but it just doesn't feel comfortable. So with the GBA, the form factor is perfect. It feels great, it feels comfortable, and it feels intuitive. So what I'm going to do with this bad boy is I'm going to mod it. I'm going to take the old screen out, get a little X-Acto knife, cut a few pieces of plastic off, and bam! I'm going to put the Game Boy SP screen in here. Easy as peasy. The only thing you have to do is put a ribbon cable, connect a ribbon cable to another to a part of the board. Then, if this is optional, if you want your screen to be brighter, you kind of wire a wire into a certain spot on the PCB, and it'll adjust and make your brightness super bright, but also at the cost of battery life. So that's a project I'm working on. I don't know if I'm gonna do a how-to yet. Because, how hard could it be? Now that I said that, probably will be. But there's only one soldering point you have to deal with, and that's the perfect starter project, right? This one wire, this little bit of solder. We'll see how complicated that is. But yeah, highly recommend getting the original GBA and modding it, because it's fucking amazing. But yeah, it's that's one pickup I got recently. Also, through Amazon, I found this bad dude. Yes, it's a Boss Metal Zone. No, I'm joking. This is a Behringer UN300, which is basically the Boss Metal Zone pedal, only it's $20. And Boss sells theirs for $40, $45, $50, which they're pretty good, but man, Behringer knows how to fucking do their shit. For a price point, it's this is a $20. That's achievable to get ultra, premium pedal sound. It's basically a Metal Zone clone. It might not be made out of metal or aluminum or whatever. It's plastic, but it sure does look nice. And the reason that I love the Metal Zone and this pedal right here is because of the low to mid swoop right there, right down there, and right here. Because I'm a bass player, and when I play guitar, this is weird, but sometimes I just don't record a bass line. If I can get the guitar to sound low, I'm going to do it. And it's got the crunch. It's got the sustain. I really highly recommend it for guitar heads out there. Is it going to replace anything on your pedal board? No, it's not. But if you're just plugging into a little DAW that I have, a 2-channel DAW, and I have a guitar that was made in 1952 or something in Kinney, this is the perfect little setup. The UM300 plus Kinney equals dirty but clean fat riffs. I mean, I highly recommend this pedal. Behringer UN300. $20 with shipments, like altogether 25. You have to buy your own AC adapter though, or use a 9-volt. But this is really awesome, good pickup. So with that, with the new pedal, breeds new creativity. So I've been messing around with a lot of songs. I'm going to continue writing songs, like sometimes getting a 6-pack of Samuel Adams, Rebel IPA, and just plucking at some stuff. But I guess I was going to make this video short. I want to try to do these videos more frequently to keep interest in the page and into 1220 Productions going. If you have any questions about the pedal or about this GBA, feel free to ask. And keep posting the early 2000 video game memes, because they're fucking dope. Alright guys, later.